That being said, it is now my great pleasure, honor, to introduce you to your first Capstone presenter of the morning. This young lady I've had a chance to work with both in the classroom, on stage, over here in the theater department. She is a delightful person, a wonderful talent. I know you guys just love her as much as I do. Holly Peterson.
Before I could talk, she says I began to act long before I could walk. But I often wonder, where did it all start? Who found out that nothing can capture a heart like a melody can? Well, whoever it was, I'm a fan. So I say thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they bring me. Who could live without it? I ask in all honesty, what would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. My story began on an isolated mountain in the middle of nowhere, outside of a small town in Alaska. In my early years, when I wasn't exploring the forest that I lived in or playing in the snow, I was lucky enough to find some artistic passions. Playing the violin, creative writing, ballet, theater, and by far my favorite, vocal music. From the time I was 4 and joined my first classical choir, I knew I loved to perform. Enrolling in the Alaska Children's Choir showed me from then on that being on stage was pretty much the best thing ever. Music was my joy and my fulfillment, and still is. I hope that everyone here is fortunate enough to find that one thing that makes them tick, the thing that makes all the bad stuff worth it, that one thing that you can never stop doing. You can be doing it for hours upon end and never want to stop. For me, that's singing. I brought my love of the arts into all aspects of my life, including school. I started elementary school at Academy Charter, a very small school in our town that one enters by lottery, kind of like ACMA. Instead of playing soccer like the other kids at recess, I would be singing. Apparently it's not normal for 5-year-olds to be singing in Czechoslovakian or Russian in the playground. I had no idea. Who knew? It soon became apparent that my classmates didn't really like me. I started to be bullied, something that got worse and worse each year. I used to write about everything that was happening to me in my journals. I recently went back through these old journals and have since relived these moments through my younger eyes again.
My school life is a total mess. I have no friends there. I feel like no one likes me.
I just wish that I could go back and let myself know that it would all be okay. As Ella Fitzgerald once said, forgive me if I don't have the words. Maybe I can sing it and you'll understand.
She lives in the shadow of a lonely girl. Voice ignored, they don't hear a word. Always talking, but she can't be heard.
take before enough is enough. Later in my 6th grade year, I reached that point. I couldn't keep hiding what was happening at school from my family and pretend like I was fine. I needed to get away. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. Kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm a queen. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. Let them in, let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Feel, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. Cold never bothered me anyway. It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small, and the fears that once control me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Let it go, let it go. I'm one with the wind and sky. Let it go, let it go. You'll never see me cry. Here I am, and here I'll stay. Let the storm rage on. Cold never bothered me anyway. It took a lot of courage, but one day I finally told my parents how bad things really were. The next day I went to school and officially switched to the local normal school in our town. I've never been back to my old school since that day. Switching schools was ultimately the right choice. I'd advise those of you that are keeping a lot of things bottled up to try to tell somebody. Even if it's hard, talking through an issue with someone that you're comfortable with can really help. Sometimes a good listener is all it takes to feel a little bit better. I want all of you that are struggling where you are to know, whether it be at school, an artistic department, an activity with a group of friends, wherever. You don't have to stay in a toxic place. It's all right to change paths and do what's right for you, even if it may not be what's right for everyone else. It's okay to let hurtful friendships or relationships go. Find a community that feels good and appreciates you. Find that group of friends, that art form, that activity that makes you feel at home, and things can get so much easier. Something big that I learned looking back on those years is that I'm not the only one that felt like I did. I thought I was completely alone, but in reality, so many other people deal with bullying and tough times as well. To those of you that are going through a rough time, I guarantee you that quite a few of your classmates are going through the same thing. You never know what someone else might be going through. That's why I've adopted a policy of kindness. I know how terrible it felt to be treated badly, so I made it my mission to never inflict that upon anyone else. If you've been treated poorly, it's easy to become bitter and resentful, but that is a complete waste of time. It doesn't help anything. The healthy thing to do is to turn those bad feelings into positivity towards others. Make the choice that the mean kids that you faced didn't. Helping others in the end can help you be a happier person. If you're going through a difficult time, don't be afraid to move on and make a change in your life. She catches her reflection, throws a mirror to the floor. Her image is distorted, so is it worth it anymore? No, are you scared of the things that they might put you through? Does it make you wanna find the inner you? You're not the only one, so let them criticize. When you're untouchable and you realize, oh,
Change your life, take it all.
take it all.
We're gonna stick together, know we'll get through it
I know
all.
we'll get through it all.
Change your life, take it all. We're gonna use it to become what you've always known. Change your life, take it all. We're gonna stick together, know we'll get through it all. Change your life, take it all. We're gonna use it to become what you've always known. Become what you've always known.
Just as soon as I started to get the hang of things at my new school, my dad sat me down and said, "Honey, how would you feel about the possibility of moving to Portland?" As I wrote in my journal,
Can I be moving to Oregon? I don't know if I like the idea. I'll just see how it turns out.
the new opportunities of living in an actual big city seemed endless. However, a cruel reality soon smacked me right in the face. Moving sucks. The rest of the school year was a blur of boxes, tears, and a lot of hard work. Being uprooted from my comfort zone was incredibly disorienting. In the blink of an eye, we were in the big city, my sister was gone to college, and I was alone at a new school, Meadow Park. I didn't like it there and had trouble acclimating to my new surroundings.
Keep the school going. Meadow Park is in this way somewhere.
Nevertheless, I would soon learn that it was all worth it. That year I wasted a lot of time feeling nostalgic and missing my sister in Alaska and my childhood in general. As you can imagine, it's no good to obsess over what you cannot change. To truly be happy, you have to move on. In reality, I wouldn't have been as happy or had nearly as many opportunities if I'd stayed in my hometown. Being in Oregon gave me new perspectives and new experiences that I never would have gotten if I wasn't here. I didn't know it then, but I needed to leave my safe haven and trust the unknown. Somehow I ended up exactly where I was meant to be. As it happens, moving wasn't the only thing I had to tackle that year. One of the biggest parts of my life has been something that I haven't shared with a lot of my peers: medical problems. The catalyst for who I am, why I look, think, and act the way I do, and so much more, was discovered when I was just 18 months old. When I'd been on this planet for just over a year, doctors diagnosed me with Turner syndrome. It's a disorder, to simplify it a bit, that means that I was born with one less chromosome than all of you. Growing up, I knew the basics of my condition and would recite them to anyone that would listen.
I have a thing called Turner's that makes me really short. I can't have kids when I'm older and have heart problems. shells and stuff are scary, but I'm used to it.
So much of who I am is because of Turner's. Not just my appearance and my medical problems, but my personality, the way I think, and just about everything is affected by it. The first time I met another Turner's girl was the summer I moved, at the National Turner Society Conference. This experience changed my life. I found myself surrounded by the sweetest, closest-knit group of friends that I've ever had. These girls are amazing. They're kind, accepting, and some of my favorite people on the planet. With them, I don't feel so different anymore. We understand one another and are fiercely loyal, supporting our friends through each issue. Battling the same thing bonds us. I adore them and have gone to different places all over the country every summer since to see my Turner sisters. All of us are stronger and more confident knowing that we have one another to rely on. Telling someone that you have Turners is a big deal to all of us. Whenever I tell someone new what I have, I pretty much get the same types of reactions.
Wait, really? But you don't, like, look messed up.
Thank you?
Wait, you can't have kids? How do you live with that?
I don't know, I just do.
Oh my god, are you like gonna die or something?
No, I'm fine. Okay. The toughest thing I've gone through from Turner's happened in 8th grade. I'd had progressively worsening scoliosis, the curvature of the spine, for a few years, and I've been wearing a brace, that pink thing, for about a year and a half, 24/7. Bracing is uncomfortable and difficult, but after a year and a half of that, I could get things over with once and for all with a big surgery. I am so grateful for Shriners Hospital because if they hadn't straightened out my spine, I would be in a wheelchair today and in lots of pain. I don't remember most of the recovery, which is lucky since it was long and tedious. Luckily for me, my mom, who's a nurse, took care of me 24/7. Thank you, Mama. I love you. Going through this recovery process taught me that there are so many things that I'd taken for granted that I'm capable of. There are so many things that I devalue that I would have done anything to have while I was recovering. Every so often I try to remind myself of all that I can do. I can have a normal life. I can walk, run, do anything. So for those of you that are healthy, try to do what I do. And remember that you're lucky and feel grateful that you can do so much. Don't take the little things for granted. Having medical problems has always been a big part of who I am. Especially throughout middle school, I found myself feeling sorry for myself and wishing things were different. Having a victim attitude was a complete waste. The truth is, I wouldn't change how things are. I've grown and learned from what I've gone through. I don't hide my medical problems, since they turn me into the person that you see in front of you. I'm proud of my scar because it shows how strong I am. Try to be proud of the difficult things in your life. They show how far you've gone and how much you're capable of overcoming. I stare at my reflection in the mirror. Why am I doing this to myself? Losing my mind on a tiny error. I nearly left the real me on the shelf. No, 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 no. Don't lose who you are in the blur of the stars. Sing is deceiving, dreaming is believing. It's okay not to be okay. Sometimes it's hard to follow your heart. Please don't mean you're losing, everybody's bruising. Nothing wrong with who you are. You are, 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 you are. Brushing my hair, do I look perfect? I forgot what to do to fit in the mold. The more I try, the less it's working. Something inside me screams no, 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 no. Don't lose you are in the blur of the stars. Sing is deceiving, dreaming is believing. It's okay not to be okay. Sometimes it's hard to follow your heart. Keep something you losing, everybody's frozen. Just choose who you are. You are, 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 you are. There's nothing wrong with who you are. Later in my 8th grade year, I realized I had to start considering my next big step, high school. I didn't really like some of my peers at Meadow and wasn't thrilled with the thought of 4 more years of being around them at Sunset. I was desperate for a way out. As luck would have it, the Acma Orchestra came to play with ours. I was immediately intrigued, and after visiting an information night, was fiercely determined to go there. I thought the world would stop spinning if I wasn't at Acma. To my great excitement, through performing a song from Les Mis, I got through second consideration, thank you Mr. B, and was thrilled to be pursuing my passion. Freshman year at Acma seemed like a dream. I thought this school was absolute perfection. As of course is most idealists, the flawless image will start to fade a little bit at one point, but I was blissfully oblivious of all of that. I was beyond excited to be going to a school that would let me grow, not only as a student, but as a performer as well. I knew I wanted to stick with music, so I auditioned for the advanced vocal ensemble and started singing with them. I tried out other art forms like writing and photo, but I wasn't really good at many of them and nothing really stuck. I recommend, especially in your first year or 2 here, to try out new art forms and new things that you wouldn't particularly expect you might like. You never know if you have an undiscovered passion if you don't try out everything. A newfound intrigue came for me in the form of theater. I wanted to branch out with other forms of performing, so I tried out my hand at acting. I auditioned for The Great Gatsby and somehow got a part in the chorus. I was very clueless, seeing as I hadn't been in a show since I was little. I knew just about nothing about theater.
Where's stage light? You want me to get on an apron? What are you talking about?
Pretty quickly, I got hooked on theater and made it my mission to work my way up and do as much as I could on stage. Throughout the next few years, I did 5 shows. It took quite a while before I realized that I wasn't actually happy doing it. The stress was too much for me. I wasn't enjoying myself. Even though I loved performing and the craft of acting and the people in the department, it just wasn't right for me. I needed to change. I thought back to all my experiences with singing and how happy it made me. I knew I needed to find what would make me healthier with my mind and soul. So it was somewhat tough admitting it to myself, but I knew that I needed to pursue what really made me happy. Halfway through my sophomore year, I decided to stop auditioning for shows and entirely shift my focus to music. I wasn't done being in plays forever, but I knew it was the right choice. I started working with a voice teacher and auditioned into Ovation, one of the Portland choirs. With Ovation, I had more fun than I ever expected. I got to make music with people that I enjoyed and leave every rehearsal blissfully fulfilled and craving even more music. I've heard lots of people talk about what made them happy and having wasted years and years trying to look for that one thing and doing something they didn't enjoy. I am incredibly lucky to be someone who has found something that gives me true joy. For those of you that are unsure of what path you want to take, try and try again and see what fits. You have to branch out and try new things, new art forms, new academic fields, all of it. Try and try again and see what fits. If you do your best to say yes to opportunities, chances are you'll find something that you love doing. I found my fulfillment in music and I'm never going to stop singing. Next year I'm going to be a music major. Shocker, right? One of the biggest moments of growth and change came for me in the summer after my sophomore year. That big experience is one of the main things that drove me to study Spanish in college. Starting next year, obviously. The year before, I had been living with a girl from Spain, an exchange student named Equine Cerro also known as Eki, from the northern part of Spain in the Basque Country. Eki Becky and I became very close and started to think of one another as family. I'd loved traveling, so I went to go see my sister in Spain. A year later, as a very scared and excited 16-year-old who had never traveled alone before, I boarded a plane to Madrid and went to live with Becky until school started. Going to a new place was both exciting and terrifying at the same time. I'd been taking Spanish since kindergarten, so I really had to put my Spanish skills to the test. Thanks to lots and lots of help from Becky, my Spanish got a lot better. Mucho mejor. It was really difficult to be in a new place without family for so long, but from the things I learned and experiences I gained, it was so much more than worth it. I had lots of crazy adventures, like leaving my passport in the hotel, getting screamed at in French on a train at 3 in the morning. I don't speak French, so that was interesting. Trying foods I really loved and really hated. Going to Paris and up the Eiffel Tower, 4 hours waiting in line, by the way, and so much more. I left Spain with a passion for travel and new experiences. I can't wait to study abroad in college. I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I've had. I'm very lucky. It may seem unnecessary to you now, but learning another language is so important. Go live new adventures and see exciting new places whenever the chance comes. This year, I knew I wanted to make the most out of my last months being in high school. I wanted to bring as much music as I could into my life. So during the summer, I auditioned for the Portland Symphonic Girl Choir and got in. Roberta and Deb, the directors, became my mentors this year. We discussed things like what it would take to lead a group of singers and what it would be like for me to pursue a career in choral conducting. I am so lucky to have gotten to work with them and have a greater sense of what it will take to be a successful choral conductor in the future. I recommend that all of you, when you get to senior year, choose your mentor wisely. Use the opportunity to work with a professional to the fullest. Long story short, I'm extremely happy that I auditioned for Girl Choir. That group of talented young women has taught me more about music and friendship in a short amount of time than I ever imagined. Girl Choir ignited my passion for classically oriented music and traditional choirs. Capstone is the other C word, college. The whole admissions process was very daunting to me, so luckily I started researching early. Don't wait to start thinking about college if you think it's right for you. Like a lot of my peers, the admissions process was very stressful for me. It's scary putting effort into an application and putting your future on the line. Honestly, waiting to hear back about my decision was the worst part. But especially juniors know that we'll be okay. I didn't quite believe before that everything would turn out fine and that I would be all right. But now I do. Now I know that yes, college is extremely important, but it doesn't mean that you should overwork yourself and majorly stress out over it all. Slow down and take each step one at a time. Don't worry, you'll find the right school, conservatory, gap year, whatever program fits you best. You'll find the right plan for graduation, trust me. You can do more than you think. I didn't expect to get into any of the schools that I applied to, and was very skeptical about it all. My doubts kept me up at night and had me in a state of frequent worry. To my surprise, I was accepted everywhere I applied. Next year, I'm going to my top choice, Lamb University in Salem, and will be joining their amazing music department. That was my admissions packet, and I was basically over the moon. So juniors in particular, breathe. You'll get through the admissions process just fine. We'll make it, don't worry. The other big part of my senior year was this whole capstone process, and mostly I wanted to focus on the artistic component first. Last year, I started thinking about what I wanted to do with my last year of high school, and knew that I wanted to do something big and exciting. ACMA had nothing similar to a student-led choir or an a cappella group, so I considered starting one of my own. One of the downsides of being an artist is sometimes you don't have every opportunity that you want at your fingertips. If nobody is giving you the chance you're waiting for, go out and make it yourself. If you want it badly enough, you can do incredible things. So, trying to start something new was something that I had reservations about. I'd seen others start groups that fizzled out really quickly and never really went well. I didn't want that to happen to me. I'd never even done a cappella before. I ran the idea by some of my peers, and their words and the ones in my mind were somewhat discouraging.
I mean, like, no offense or anything, but you just don't have the right personality to direct. I don't think it would work out.
You should let someone else start an a cappella group instead. They do a better job at it.
If you made a new a cappella group, it would just be a joke.
I just don't think you should. It wouldn't be able to last.
For quite a while, I let my doubts stop me, even though doing so was contrary to what I wanted. I desperately wanted to go for it and pursue what I was passionate about. By the end of the year, I built up some more confidence and decided that I wasn't going to let anything stop me. I knew what I wanted, and I wouldn't let others get in my way. I was ready to jump in and start my own choir. I found a way to make my dream come true. My choir would be my artistic component. As my advisor, Mr. Sicking, says, your capstone should be something that both excites and terrifies you. If you're not taking a risk, how can you grow and learn? So that's exactly what I did. Yes, I could crash and burn, which part of me expected I might. But what if it went well? What if I succeeded? So, in October of this year, I set things in motion and held auditions. I was unbelievably scared. What if nobody was interested? What if no one showed up? What if they didn't take it seriously? Luckily, some truly incredible singers were ready to join me and make my dream become a reality. We are all bonded by a love of music, which is the best possible reason to be singing. They surpassed my expectations by a lot, and definitely had me impressed. As I'm sure, as you've been hearing today, they're all wonderful singers, and I'm very happy that I got to work with them. It wouldn't have been at all possible without these amazing singers and their passion and drive to make good music. I'm so fortunate to have gotten to work with them.
favorite thing. Honestly, I just get to come in, we get to harmonize with each other and have a blast and like learn parts, and it's super fun.
Joke around.
Oh yes, so much fun.
Yeah. And I've watched a cappella groups and seen how they function, and I've been in choirs forever, and that's like my biggest passion is music and choir, and I'd always wanted to direct something. I'd like wanted to direct theater or something. Like I'd always wanted the challenge of being in a leadership role.
She's a great director. She knows what she's doing. She knows all the parts. She's really good at harmonizing.
Actually, the directing part and the getting to work together and the music side of it is really easy. But one of probably the most difficult things as a director is just getting people in one spot and getting everyone ready to work at one point, since everyone's so busy.
But it's coming together a lot better than I originally thought it would. Like, it sounds so good.
Hearing when it's rewarding for them as well. And that makes it really meaningful for me. So this has been a wonderful experience, and I'm so lucky to have gotten to work with such talented people and have it come together so well. I didn't expect it to work like this.
Change your life, take it all. Will use it to become what you've always known. Become what you've always known.
Thank you so much to Lindsay Mink who made that. Woo! Everyone here has dreams, goals, things they've always wanted to make happen, but never quite had the courage. If you're looking for a sign to go for it, this is it. Make the whole Capstone process your opportunity to really discover how far you can go and how much you can do with hard work and motivation. If you don't at least try, nothing will ever change. Go try to make big things happen. Meet Bella Voce, proof that even if people outright tell you can't, you can always show them that they were wrong.
They told me that I wouldn't, but if they could see me now, they say I'm something that I'm not scared of nothing, and the world will hear me shout. We sing They call me crazy, but I've been thinking maybe you would change your mind if you could see me now. They said I couldn't, they told me that I wouldn't, but if they could see me now, they say I'm something that I'm not scared of nothing, and the world will hear me shout. We sing They call me crazy, but I've been thinking maybe you would change your mind if you could see me now.
Another big lesson I learned this year was the importance of putting things in perspective. I'm a very intense person that tends to obsess over trivial little things all the time, and I know lots of you can be like that too. It can seem like small things are unbelievably important, but trust me, they're not. Before I start to stress about something, I recently tried to start asking myself whether or not it will matter in 10 or 20 years, or even in just a month. It's likely that it won't. That one seemingly impossible assignment won't kill you. You'll be okay if you don't get that role in the next play. That one tough class doesn't mean your future's over. Please know that none of this will last forever. High school end, middle school end, and you will graduate and go do amazing things. It'll all get better, trust me. Remind yourself that it's okay. Try to enjoy your time at school, even though it can be hard to do so. You only have so much time here, and you may end up missing it. The moment that you start to put things in perspective, everything becomes so much clearer. Most of us worrying you doesn't even matter. What does matter is learning what makes you happy and coming to terms with liking who you are. It's okay to like yourself for who you are, especially when nobody else seems to. Now still, all of this doesn't mean that I'm somehow happy all the time and have no problems, because that's not the case. I can't get over all of my problems completely, but I can move on from them and learn from them. I know a lot of you are probably dealing with difficult things, so just remember, it's okay. You're not the only one. Just allow yourself to do what makes you happy and everything will change. Don't let others tell you you're not good enough or stop you from doing incredible things, and you will go so much farther in life. My future is all ahead of me, and I couldn't be more excited. So, Fire, come out. Sorry, I messed them up cue-wise. My fault.
Mama made me the way I am. She told me I should look at the world with my head held high. At night, I've been wasting a lot of time looking in mirrors and hating on me. But now I like what I see. I know, I'll never be perfect. I know, but I'm gonna work it. Let go, put your new shoes on, you on. We are who we are. Pretty's just a pretty word, and I'm gonna shine like a star, 'cause I'm the only bee in this world. Throw away the looks in the magazines, I'm never gonna look like a beauty queen. We are who we are, and I'm just doing me, just doing me. And I'm just doing me, just doing me.
But yourself as well. Our culture today is so fixated on judging other people and ourselves that it's hard to be happy. One of my strongest personal beliefs is to try to combat that and try to show tolerance for others. Before you judge someone, try to stop yourself and get some perspective. Try your hardest to stop your mind from automatically thinking poorly of someone for something they cannot change. The most important thing to take away from this is to stop hating one another. I know this is idealistic and we can't always get along all the time, but we can at least try. Instead of calling someone a rude word, or try to picture how you would feel if that was said to you. I know that's so cliche and it gets said often, but it really rings true to me. Instead of sending someone mean things and through anonymous messages online, send them an anonymous compliment. Telling someone they look good doesn't cost you anything. Complimenting someone's personality doesn't take away any time. It just doesn't require any work. All it does is make you and the other person feel better. So, I'm taking all of these lessons into account when I'm going to college next year. My future is all ahead of me. It's time to stop feeling inferior and go to Willamette University ready to work hard and do great things. My new life is so close, and I couldn't be more excited. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else.